But of course, that lie also led to the attack of January 6th on the U.S. Capitol. And today, the oversight group CREW, Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington, they released new, never-before-heard police radio recordings from the U.S. Park Police. These are recordings that, among other things, show that as the National Park Police, that police force, was overwhelmed, they, at one point, had a number of their officers backed up inside of the Washington Monument for their own protection. And that sort of extreme pressure on those police officers happened as early as 9:30 in the morning on the day of the Capitol attack. Now, as far as I know, we had not previously understood that the Trump crowd on the Mall and on the Capitol grounds as early as the 9 a.m. hour was already fighting with police to the point of overwhelming them.
Units are backing into the monument. Everyone's breaking through the bike rack. There's a large crowd that's following us. We're going back into the monument with the individual that's under arrest. They're breaking through the bike fence. We're inside. They're at the front of the gate.
The prisoner is inside the base of the monument with multiple Park Police officers, but they are completely surrounded with protesters, and they're trying to figure out a plan how to get the arrestee down to the wagon.
Yeah, both my squads of horses set up here on the south side. So if they can exit the building and come out to us, we should be able to escort them all the way down to the waiting wagon. How many guys you got with you in there?
Got about close to 20.
All right, that's good enough. If you can form a little bubble around the 1095, we'll have the gate open for you. What's your ETA? We got people starting to congregate around the horses.
This is before 9:30 in the morning on the day of the U.S. Capitol attack on January 6th. Again, this is U.S. Park Police. We've not previously had access to Park Police audio. And at 9:30 in the morning, they are already so overwhelmed, it's taking them, what do they say? Quote, about 20 guys, 20 officers, and 2 squads of horses to get one arrestee through the Trump mob down to a police car, because the Trump mob at the Washington Monument is so aggressive against the police already by that time of day that they've backed these teams of police officers up to and inside the Washington Monument, where the officers have gone inside the obelisk, inside the actual monument, to barricade themselves inside. That police audio, newly obtained and released today by the oversight group CREW. We've never before had this insight from the Park Police side before. We didn't know that things were that out of control, that police officers were under that much of a threat. What, 4 or 5 hours before the Capitol itself was breached? Yes, that whole attack was in the name of a ridiculous, and we now know, totally made up, invented lie about the election, which is ridiculous. But it's also about as serious as it gets, right? And the more we're now realizing that the more we find out about it, the more documents and information and testimony and recordings we get about that day, the worse that it gets, which is important. Joining us now is Maryland Congressman Jamie Raskin. He sits on the House Select Committee on January 6th, which in the past 2 weeks has subpoenaed 15 people to testify and provide documents about their role in and their knowledge of the events that day. Congressman Raskin, it's a pleasure to see you. Thank you so much for making time to join us tonight.
And great to see you, Rachel.
I have to ask if the Park Police audio that we just played, and again, that's a very small snippet of about 7 hours of audio that was obtained by CREW today. That was new to us. I think it's new to the public. Is that new to you and your colleagues in the investigation?
I'd never heard that tape before. Certainly, we've spoken to Park Police people. The Park Police were valiant and brave on January the 6th, and they were right in the thick of the struggle, but I had not heard that tape from early in the morning. You know, Washington, D.C. is organized on a military basis around a series of circles. That was how L'Enfant designed the city, you know, DuPont Circle, Sheridan Circle, Thomas Circle, and clearly the insurrectionists showed up with military plans to attack the police at every point in the district.